Hi, this is John. We're back to showing you our layouts and what has happened the last year, since it's been over a year since we've had our last video. We're currently in where our new HO layout will end up being. We'll go ahead and show you what we have so far. We have basically most of the pieces from the layout before. A few of them we're going to reconfigure, but what you see now, the ones that you see up, are about kind of where they're going to end up being. It's in the building's about 30 by 30 foot, and so we're going to fill this all up with HO trains. And then we have a layout that we kind of just show you briefly on the graph paper. This is a tentative plan that we're considering doing. And we're going to have, as before, it'll be standard gauge and also dual gauge HON3. And it's about equal on both scales. And we're going to go ahead and go into the next building now. Alright, this is our shop that we're going to have for an 1.5" scale. Currently we have our lawn equipment. It's going to actually get moved to a different building. But we're going to have my son's steam engine and cars, and my F unit and flat cars will all be in here for working on the trains. And the back wall, we're going to have probably cabinets and stuff for tools and that type of thing. And then we'll show you the next side of the shop that we'll end up doing for O-gauge trains and maybe some other stuff too. Probably we have some Legos and slot cars and stuff. We might end up putting all of them in here at some point in time. We'll also be building track panels for the 1.5" scale in here. On this far wall, we're going to probably have the templates for our track panels that we will be building. And then we'll go outside now and show you the initial plan of the layout for the 1.5" scale. The O-gauge and 1.5" scale shop, it's approximately 25 by 40 foot. So it's a little bit different configuration than the HO scale, but we're using it a little bit differently. We're in the main part of where we're going to have our initial loop. It's approximately 3.5 acres, and it'll be a slight oval with a slight indentation in it. And then the trees to your right that you're seeing, we now have another 4 acres going that way. At some point in time, we'll be expanding out in that direction. We have a tentative track plan, but that will probably be a couple years down the road before we get to that point. And we have the stakes right here, and the far ones next to the fence are where the track will be. The middle ones in the middle is just the center line for measuring. And then down here, initially we're going to have a switch going off down to the far shop that we showed you earlier for maintenance. This is going to just be a temporary track until we build the full layout. And now we'll go ahead and show you what the rest of the plan is. Okay, this is our barn that we have also on the property that it'll need some work before we can actually use it, but we're going to actually turn this into our car barn for storing cars down the road. And then we'll also have behind the barn, we're going to have a yard down there. And then we'll go ahead and go down to the creek to show you where the other side of the property is. Okay, to our right, we're going to have another loop. When we finally finalize our plan, there'll be a return loop here that goes over the creek that was up here. They'll be going over the creek, and then they'll be basically going to the back end of the property. It'll be doing some loops and stuff like that. And then it'll come around to the back side over where the other return loop is, and it'll go across a bridge there also. So we'll have two bridges going across this creek that basically cuts our property in half. And the far side's about 4 acres and 3.5 acres for the other side. And then we'll be following up with other videos on construction. Be constructing our HO layout and also the inch and a half scale track panels. 12 videos on that coming soon.